Salutations everyone and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered this week in the news. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U looks to be about the best game ever made, so, in other words, shut up and take my money! That's all I got. Oh, wait. That's all of it. Just take it. So yes, Nintendo Direct had a 35-minute video all on 50 facts, actually it was more than 50 facts, on the Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Now, it seemed like, first off, this wasn't going to be like a whole lot of really important facts, but almost all of them were actually new information, really awesome stuff, clarification on some things, and this game looks huge with the addition of the Game Board Battle Mode, the different challenges mode, the connectivity with a 3DS. It looks absolutely amazing with the amiibo connectivity too, and all the new stages and all the things that you can do. This game looks like the ultimate time sink. And I can say this as a person who Melee was probably my top 5 most time played in any game in my lifetime. I played a lot of Melee, a lot of Brawl, probably not as much as Melee. I didn't have it on the N64, but I did play it whenever I could. So I'm a big fan of the franchise, and I cannot wait for it to come out on the Wii U. I do have it on the 3DS, and as far as 3DS connectivity goes, a lot of awesome stuff. Sure, you can use that as a controller. You can use your 3DS as a controller. I don't know why you would want to do that. I guess if you need more, that's just an easy one that everyone's got, because there's 8 players now can be in a game. That's absolutely crazy. 8 players on screen at a time with special stages that are larger in order to incorporate all of those extra fighters, which is absolutely incredible. We've never been able to play with more than 4 before, and now they doubled it. They doubled it, and it's crazy. Some awesome stuff is like the camera functionality, which is a big deal for people like me who are YouTubers. That's just an easy way to make awesome thumbnails, as well as with the everything that's in the 3DS except more and better in most cases. Also, a lot of your stuff from the 3DS can be transferred over to the Wii U. In your Mii fighters can be transferred over, as well as their gear, equipment, and customization, which is really cool because a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to unlock all of that on the 3DS, so that's good to know that all of that time will not be wasted. And they didn't say if your records and stats will carry over or your trophies. They did say Wii U has a lot more trophies and different ones, of course, but I don't know if the 3DS ones will carry over. If not, that's alright. They got the important stuff down, which is really cool. Also, some clarity on the amiibo connection, which you would connect to your gamepad, and there's also a reader coming out for the 3DS that'll be out next year, so that works with the 3DS as well as a bunch of other games, including on the 3DS and the Wii U. The new 3DS actually has it built in, so it doesn't need a little extra reader, and that doesn't have a release date for Western release yet, so keep you posted on that. There's 12 amiibos being launched right now in the first wave, and the second wave comes a couple months later. And it actually looks really cool outside of being awesome figures that a lot of people, including myself, would just buy anyway. The way that you connect them and create your own customized fighter, and it'll learn from how you play, and if you set it to play on its own, it'll play just like how you played with a lot of science and algorithms and stuff. It just looks really, really cool. So also, if amiibos are fighting other amiibos, they gain more experience, and it just looks like a lot of time can be sunk into this game with the 3DS connectivity, all the different challenge modes, the story modes, the all-star modes, the 8 players, the online capabilities for glory and just for fun, the amiibos, it looks like you can spend hundreds of hours in this game and you'll never get tired of it, which is something I never got tired of with Melee or Brawl. So with a lot more to do, this just looks like an absolutely amazing game. And some people may criticize others for buying a console just for one game, but a lot of people do it for like Halo, or I myself got a PlayStation 3 just to play Naughty Dog games. And this definitely is going to launch a lot of Wii U's. There isn't a Smash Brothers bundle Wii U announced yet, and since it's less than a month away, I don't think there's going to be one. Even though there should have been, there should still be, I don't think there's going to be one, and as of right now, there isn't one announced for either Japan or the West. So, also, Mewtwo is coming back. He'll be available in the spring. They're working on him right now, that's, I guess, a long time to spend on one fighter. I guess, I don't know what goes into that sort of game design, but apparently they need a lot of time. He'll be available on the 3DS and the Wii U if you bought both. I assume you can purchase him if you just have one of the iterations of the game, but not too sure yet. People are speculating this is the first of many DLC fighters to come out. I'm not too sure. Mewtwo was kind of a fan favorite that was missing from Brawl. I liked him in Melee. It was sad to see him go in Brawl. Even though we got Lucario, he still wasn't as good as Mewtwo. So it's good to see Mewtwo coming back, and him coming out in the spring will just rejuvenate the game even more so, as well as when the other amiibos come out. I'm probably going to get the Kirby one, and if I were to get the game, since there is no Sheik or Meta Knight, Captain Falcon doesn't come out to the Wave 2, I'd probably get like Samus or maybe Fox or Link in Wave 1, just to have more than one amiibo so that they can play with each other. Anyways, this game just looks absolutely astounding, and I cannot wait. I think this is the last information that we're going to be getting on the game, so sorry that I keep talking about it week after week, but it's kind of a big deal. In other gaming news, there's an Australian classification board that processed an Attack on Titan game for apparently Australian and we would assume Western release. Atlas has made no comments on any Attack on Titan games coming to the West, but it seems like a game is coming. Not too sure if this is the 3DS game that came out in the past year, or if it's going to be the remastered edition that's coming out in Japan later in the year. No word yet. Obviously, Shingeki no Kyojin has a huge following in the West. It's kind of like the top anime right now, and manga, and just has a lot of fans, a lot of push behind it, and it's going to happen eventually. Hopefully, it's a new game, maybe on the PS3. That would be pretty cool. The 3DS game in Japan said the reviews were kind of mixed. There were some really good and some not so good portions of the game. And, I mean, hopefully this is good news that some sort of Attack on Titan game is coming to the West. And hopefully I'll get the ball rolling for future ones to come as well. While it may not be huge gaming news, there is a Doctor Who game coming out in the UK starring the new Doctor, Peter Capaldi, aimed at children ages 6 to 12 that will teach them how to code, which I think is an awesome and very much needed step. We all remember as kids in the computer lab learning language skills, reading skills, math blasters, number munchers, reading rabbit, all of that nonsense that we've had to, endure as children, except, with budget cuts and, computer labs are kind of disappearing across the country, which is very counterproductive to just how the timeline is going, is that how it goes forward and not backwards. But this is a much needed thing. Kids need to learn how to code. It's going to be exponentially important in the future in many different industries. And, teaching kids computers and coding is an integral part of their learning process nowadays, is, I would argue, more important than, say, math skills beyond basic math. And this is the kind of steps that need to be taken. This is the first game that I've ever heard of that has taught kids to code. I'm sure someone's made one by themselves, but as far as like a company releasing this big game with an important IP attached to it, is a pretty cool step. It's only available in the UK right now, but hopefully we see more of these games coming out, because it's important for the children of the future and for the computing and gaming industry as a whole. A new trailer for Halo Nightfall dropped, which is the live action TV series that is going to be bundled in with the Master Chief Collection on November 11th. And it looks really cool. It's a different tone than Forward Unto Dawn, which was the last live-action Halo series that was released a few years ago with Halo 4. This takes place between Halo 4 and Halo 5, focusing on Agent Locke. And this thing looks like a movie trailer. It honestly does. It looks really, really cool, really gritty, high production. A lot of interesting things. We see some Sangeli in there, as well as a soldier that was an ex-Spartan, which is the first I'm ever hearing of that even being possible. How could you be an ex-Spartan? That's insane. Looks really good. Really looking forward to it on the Master Chief Collection that comes out November 11th. I don't remember how many episodes it is. I think it's like, it's probably the same as Forward Unto Dawn, like about 8 or so, 7. I'm not too sure. But it looks really, really good. And, I mean, can we get a Halo movie? I mean, just, come on. Come on. It's so cool. And in other video game movie adaptation news, I'd like to introduce a new segment called It's Not News But Still Awesome. In a Scandinavian filmmaker crew that recreated a shot-for-shot remake of the opening scene of Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Looks really awesome, is in Norwegian, so there are English subtitles, but if you've seen the game, and the opening cinematic, this looks really, really good, especially since, you know, this is a group of filmmakers doing this on their own, low budget. It looks awesome, and Uncharted is one of those movies one of those games that have been spitballed a lot, and that it would transfer very, very well to a movie, and they're great cinematic shots, and I mean, this would just exemplify how awesome a film would look, taking no liberties on their own as far as creativity goes, and just going shot for shot as much as they can from the opening cinematic, and it just looked pretty cool, so I would definitely suggest check it out. Another comic book adapted television show aired this week in Constantine, based off of the Hellblazer comic book, and it was on NBC, so it's the first one that they've had to debut this year. It's on Fridays at 10 o'clock, so that doesn't instill confidence in the longevity of the show. But I just watched the pilot, and I thought it was okay. It was definitely very fast-paced. They had to do a lot of, you know, setup work and a lot of exposition, as one would. It's not an origin, as you wouldn't want to do with Constantine. It's actually based off of the Newcastle story arc, as many of you readers may be familiar with. It is not at all connected to the Keanu Reeves movie, which was based off of a different story arc and had him as a American who's, you know, still smoked and fought with, you know, angels and demons and all that. Has to do with the occult, and he actually doesn't smoke in the TV show, which is, you know, we can understand. It's on network television, even though it is on 10 o'clock. I don't imagine a lot of kids are going to be watching it, but still, it's a, you know, thing that they felt that they needed to do. The sidekick in the series was actually dropped off, and she's only appearing in the pilot, and they're kind of just setting up for a formulaic episode by episode basis of going to different parts of the country and handling supernatural stuff. It looks to be like a quasi-scary, quasi-like adventure type of show in the vein of, like, say, Supernatural or Sleepy Hollow, which I hear people say is actually kind of scary. I don't know, I haven't watched those shows, and Constantine apparently didn't hit that same level of fright, but this was just the pilot, so we'll see how it goes. It definitely looked better than some other small budget comic book adapted television shows. They had a British actor as Constantine, which was very much appreciated, and so far is, you know, pretty parallel to the Newcastle storyline. At least the setup is pretty much identical, and I'll keep watching. It's got me interested. We'll see where it goes from here. The Flash, of course, also came out a couple of weeks ago, which I forgot to mention, and that looks really good as well, which we would expect since it's a shoot-off from The Arrow, which is one of the greatest shows on television right now. So now all we have to do is wait for the new S.H.I.E.L.D. to start up. And I think that's it for this season as far as comic book television shows go, but we'll see how many of them survive come sweeps time. And that was what mattered this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next week will be a different format, as I will be at Stanley's Kamikaze down in LA, so expect a different type of show from that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comments always appreciated, and the links to all the stories will be in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.